Hello and welcome to Lesson 6. This is where everything you have learned so far comes together. By now, you have explored techniques, experimented with mediums, and dabbled with textures and effects. It's time to take those skills and apply them to create cohesive small-scale artworks. In this lesson, we'll work on 2 guided practice projects that will help you overcome the fear of starting larger pieces and build your confidence in balancing compositions. These projects are designed to challenge you, inspire you, and let you see just how much you've grown. Practice projects offer you the perfect opportunity to experiment and explore without the pressure of crafting a perfect masterpiece. They provide a space to freely learn and grow, allowing you to build confidence and develop your skills in a relaxed, low-stakes environment. Now, why does practice projects matter? It builds confidence using new techniques on smaller or experimental pieces will help you feel more comfortable applying them to larger works. Next, it balances elements. You will gain a better understanding on how to combine colors, textures, and layers in a way that feels harmonious and intentional. Understand the process. As you work through different techniques, you will see how each element works together to create a finished, cohesive piece. So remember, practice is the key to growth. Every experiment, even if it doesn't turn out as planned, is a step forward in mastering your craft. So embrace these projects, have fun, and let your creativity flow. As you embark on your acrylic painting journey, it's completely natural to have a few concerns. Don't worry, these challenges are part of the process and we are here to help you work through them, step by step. So, what if I mess up? So, what's the solution? Mistakes are not the end of the world. They are part of the creative process. Acrylic paints are incredibly forgiving. If something doesn't look right, you can always paint over it. If you have added a layer that doesn't feel right, let it dry and paint over it with a fresh coat. Additionally, try using a palette knife or water to gently scrape away any unwanted areas or textures. You can also turn your mistake into an opportunity. Sometimes the best ideas come from what you think went wrong. How do I start a painting? So what's the solution? The first step is always the hardest, but it's easier than it seems to get started. Try sketching a simple outline of your composition. Don't focus on perfection, just let the idea flow. Once you have your basic shapes, start applying a light wash of color to block out your main areas. This will give you a solid foundation to build upon. If you're still feeling stuck, try working with a reference photo or even an abstract shape that sparks your creativity. The key is to begin and not worry about the end result. Trust that it will unfold as you go. How do I know if it's balanced? So what's the solution? Achieving balance in a composition comes with practice. But here's a few things you can get started. So, use the rule of the thirds. Divide your canvas into grids of 3 equal parts horizontally and vertically. Now, place the main focal points along these lines or at their intersection. You can get hold of the Master Artist program for more learning on the fundamental concepts. Next is the visual weight. Ensure that no area of your painting feels too heavy or too empty. If one side feels too crowded, try adding some lighter elements to the opposite side to balance it out. Next is the contrast and the harmony. Balance contrasting elements like lights versus dark or warm versus cool colors to create harmony throughout the piece. Keep stepping back and assessing the overall flow and don't hesitate to make small adjustments. So get feedback. Sometimes a fresh set of eyes can offer valuable insights. Don't hesitate to share your work with friends or fellow artists for constructive feedbacks. So, it's completely normal to have doubts and questions when starting something new. But remember, these concerns are all part of your artistic journey. Mistakes, starting points, and composition skills will all become easier with practice and patience. Keep moving forward, trust the process, and embrace every step of your creative path. You've got this. And with solutions above, you'll feel more confident in navigating any obstacles you encounter. Welcome to your first creative project. This exercise will help you explore the world of texture mediums and layers in a fun and dynamic way. By the end of this project, you'll have a unique abstract piece that showcases your ability to balance different textures and colors. Let's dive in. Coming on to the goals of this activity, let's create an abstract composition using textures and mediums that feels dynamic and balanced. Step 1. Prepare all your materials. Collect canvas or thick paper. You can have palette knives, sponges, brushes, and modeling paste. You can hold acrylic paints in 3 to 5 harmonious colors to create your base layer. Use a flat brush to apply a light wash of color across the canvas. This will act as your background. Now make sure it's not too dark. Just a gentle wash to set the tone for the piece. 3. You can start adding texture. Apply modeling paste with a palette knife in a few areas to create raised surfaces. Use a sponge to dab paint in the complementary colors around the texture areas. This will start to bring out the tactile quality of your work. 4. You can build layers. Once the texture dries, use a palette knife to apply bold streaks of paint. You can add details like dry brushed highlights or translucent glazes to tie everything together. Layering is key here for creating depth. 5. You can finish and reflect upon it. Step back and assess the composition. Does it feel balanced? Adjust the placement of colors or textures as needed. Don't be afraid to add or take away to achieve the desired flow. Now, congratulations on completing your first project. This exercise is all about experimenting with different textures and mediums to see how they interact with one another by stepping outside the lines of traditional painting. You have created something truly unique. Reflect on what worked well and where you might want to improve in your next project. Keep practicing and your technique will only continue to grow. Welcome to your second project. In this lesson, we'll explore how to use layering and glazing techniques to create a serene, atmospheric landscape. By the end of this exercise, you'll have a beautiful landscape that feels alive with depth and dimension. So the goals of this activity is to use layering and glazing techniques to create a simple, serene landscape. And going on to step 1 is to prepare all your materials. So get a canvas or a thick of paper, flat and round brushes, glazing medium, and acrylic paints in earthy tones like greens, blues, and browns. Now you can sketch your layout. Lightly sketch a horizontal line to separate the sky from the land. Keep it simple and fluid so that you have the freedom to adjust as you go. Step 3. Paint the background. Use a flat brush to block the sky. Create a smooth gradient from blue at the top, fading to white near the horizon. Paint the land below with a base color like green or brown, establishing the foundational landscape. 4. You can start giving layers. Add tree shapes, distant mountains, or other features using darker tones. Layer these elements to create a sense of distance. Now use a glazing medium to softly blend the transition in the sky and create subtle shadows on the land. Enhance with highlights. Once the base layers have dried, add highlights on the trees, mountains, or water by using a dry brush and lighter tones of your color palette. This will bring your landscape to life. 6. Finish and reflect. Step back and assess the depth and dimension of your landscape. Do the layers. As you work through these projects, remember that the process is just as important as the final result. So here are a few tips to help you stay focused and create with confidence. So 1. Don't overthink. Let your instincts guide you. Sometimes less thinking and more doing leads to the most beautiful results. Trust in your creative instincts as you layer and build your painting. 2. Step back, often to assess your composition from a distance. Now it's easy to get caught up with the details, so make sure to step back and evaluate your work from a distance. This will help you see the overall composition and balance of your pieces. 3. Remember, every layer adds interest, so enjoy the process. Each new layer is an opportunity to enhance your artwork. Don't rush it. Take the time to enjoy the process and let each layer add to the depth and richness of your piece. Now, following these tips and staying true to your instincts, you will continue to improve your technique and develop a style that's uniquely yours. Enjoy every moment of your creative journey. As we wrap up this lesson, here are some key points to remember. Practice projects allow you to apply techniques and mediums in a balanced compositions. By working through practice projects, you can gain the confidence to use different techniques and mediums together, creating harmonious and engaging artworks. 2. Building layers and textures step by step help you create depth and interest. Layering and texturing aren't just for adding visual complexity. They are crucial for creating a sense of depth that invites viewers to explore your artwork. 3. Mistakes are opportunity to learn and refine your skills. Don't fear mistakes. Every misstep is a chance to grow and improve your technique, helping you get closer to your artistic goals. Now moving on to our learning activity. Now that you have learned about layering, texture, and using different mediums, it's time to put everything into practice. Now follow the steps provided in both the practice projects. 1. Complete both practice projects. Follow the instructions step by step and use the techniques you have learned to create your compositions. 2. Take photos of your work and compare the results. Look at the photos of your completed project and evaluate the impact of each technique. How does each layer and texture affect your piece? 3. Reflect on what technique you enjoyed the most and what you'd like to improve. Think about which technique you found most enjoyable and where you felt challenged. This self-reflection will guide your future practice. 4. Share your piece with your friends or in our art group for feedbacks. Sharing your work with others is a great way to gain fresh perspective and constructive feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. It will help you grow as an artist. So, Enjoy the process, embrace your mistakes, and celebrate the process and progress you've made so far. Each step you take in building layers, adding textures, and experimenting with mediums bring you closer to mastering your unique artistic voice. Fantastic work! You've completed your practice projects and gained valuable experience applying your skills. In the next lesson, the final project, creating your own artwork, you'll synthesize everything you have learned to create a unique polished piece that showcases your growth as an artist. I can't wait to see what you'll create. See you in lesson 7.